good enough. Hey everybody, that was weird. Apologies because my computer just froze in the middle of running the intro, but it's fine. Everything's fine.
So great.
Thank you all for it's great. We're off to a fantastic start. Tonight is a very special episode of Ink and Paint. In much is now a tradition at WDWNT, we wanted to get in on the March Madness fun, and we get the awesome pleasure of going first just by luck of the calendar. And I'm sure it will devolve into just absolute chaos and madness like everything else. And these always seem to do on this channel. But tonight we are, in Ink and Paint fashion, we are going to try to rank the best of the best when it comes to the ladies of Disney. You know, we kind of started out with just the princesses, but it kind of did a disservice to all the other ladies and women of, well, and in some cases girls, quite honestly, of the Disney movies. So, and I should preface by saying that we are just talking movies. We are not talking original characters from the parks, or I think we do technically have a couple, maybe one or two from television shows, animated television shows, but that's about as far as we got. But no Red, no, gosh, my mind went completely blank on the other three that I had written down and now have lost somewhere. So again, we're off to a great start. It's fine. But joining me tonight is my fantastic panel. I've got Desi and Emma, and we have our newcomer, Katie, who stepped in, and thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to have you. It's always fun to have new faces around. And with that, I'm going to go ahead. I will flash the bracket. And again, we were going to try to have a very elaborate pictures and follow along. We will try to get an updated one posted for part 2 of this later, because I doubt we're going to get through all 64 tonight. For next week, so y'all can play along. I do apologize about that, but again, with our technical issues, best tonight not to press our luck.
We don't want unplanned downtime on the unplanned downtime channel.
That's right.
No. But with that, let's go ahead, because we do obviously have quite a few women, ladies, and girls to get through. So let's just jump into our first pairing. Whoops-a-daisy. We're just going to go ahead and hide that so that doesn't happen again. Our first pairing tonight, and we did kind of break it up, again, if you want to look at the bracket, to kind of make it a little bit fair. We have one junket of princesses up there in the top left, followed by one junket of other ladies of Disney. And again, apologies, but heroines, leading ladies, other than royalty, unfortunately. Still wonderful, but unfortunately never got the crown. And then kind of the same and almost a little but reversed on the other side, so that it doesn't just come down to, hopefully, princess versus non-princess. But we'll see. Anything could happen. But with that being said, our first pairing tonight is Cinderella versus Elanwi. And again, we were going to try to have pictures up, but pushing our technical difficulties. So Google is your friend if you're not sure who some of these princesses are. I know Desi and I, when we were making the bracket, had several to go. Don't exactly know who that is.
But I didn't know how to pronounce Elanwi, but I knew who she was.
Yeah. I'm looking it up right now because I honestly don't know.
Sorry. She was the princess from Black Cauldron.
Black Cauldron.
Oh, that's why I don't know. There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
So kind of. So a little
this was
out
a
there,
1 seed versus a 64 seed. Oh no, Ashley's frozen. Is it just me?
No!
No.
Okay. Well, I think I'll just start then, I guess. Out of sheer knowledge versus not knowledge. And like I honestly do think Cinderella is a good there she's back. Okay.
Okay.
But let's keep going. No, it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Cinderella only because like I know her story might not be the best or her movie might not be the best. I truly think she is a hardworking and kind person or kind character. So that is my pick over those two.
Katie?
I'd have to do Cinderella as well, mainly because I don't know much about Elanway. It's just like Cinderella was always my favorite growing up because she always was kind-hearted. No matter what really happened to her, she always tried to have that good heart. So that's where my vote will go.
I think there's probably a reason nobody knows who Elanway is, so Cinderella. Final answer.
I mean, I like her. Again, it's kind of become a cult classic movie. I'm not gonna vote against Cinderella, but I do get it. Like she did help. She was a little sassy for her time. Not probably to the level of like Jasmine, but she had her moments and tried to hold her own with the boys. But she made a valiant effort. But yeah, it's got to go to Cinderella.
Clean sweep.
Boom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that was
That's
easy.
A pun because she.
All right. Next up, Daisy versus Dory.
Ooh.
That's hard.
While everybody's thinking for a second, to our friends at home, I will preface by saying you're going to notice a pattern with some of these as far as the matchups, and some of them there is no rhyme or reason. This is one of the ones where there wasn't really a whole lot of rhyme or reason. But
the reason was they're both non-humans.
There you go. That was it.
Okay.
And they both started with D and ended with Y.
There you go.
I love both of these characters, so this is really hard for me. And I mean, I think Dory is hilarious. I mean, I think she's one of the most iconic Pixar characters, one of the most memorable Pixar characters, even though I don't think it's not the best movie. But I don't know. But Daisy is so iconic and classic, and like she kind of tells it like it is to Donald, and she is her own independent woman, even though she has a man. I don't know. I'm gonna think about this one. Everybody else vote first.
All right, I'll go ahead and say Daisy just for iconic purposes. I mean, she's maybe not the Fab 5, but maybe Fab 10. Like she's definitely, one of the first characters you think of when you think Disney.
She's like Fab 5 adjacent. She like gets subbed in there every now and again. Like
it's almost sad she's not part of the Fab 5.
It's true.
It's like she's
like
number
you do
6.
see her with them a lot. Yeah.
I feel like I see her more than I see Pluto. Like on the stage show and everything.
That's very
it's always Daisy.
That is very true. Katie, what do you think?
I'm going to vote for Daisy because she likes trying to fix problems, and Dory seems to kind of make more. So it's like Daisy's more a problem solver.
That is very fair logic.
See, Dory tries to solve problems. She just doesn't do them well.
If
she doesn't even remember what the problem
we
was.
are going to ask the chat to be our tiebreaker. FYI.
Oh, that's
so
right.
Yes.
Got it. Noted. Okay. Well, And again, just because I feel like Dory at least deserves a vote, like I think I'm going to give Dory my vote. Again, I think she, is, as far as more memorable or as far as like favorite characters, if we have to be a little biased when it comes to like these hard decisions, I think Dory is still a great character, and I think, she has a lot of heart and is very kind, even if she's forgetful.
That is true.
Forgetful, but not forgettable.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
True.
This one was kind of tricky for me too, because I do enjoy Dory, and even Finding Dory wasn't an awful movie. I don't think it was necessary. And I think Dory kind of suffers from an oversaturation. Like, she was cute, she was a hit in the first movie, and then they just kind of like Stitch. She had kind of that same, not quite as bad, but like that same kind of, they were like, hey, well, she's the popular character, we're gonna slap her on everything. And then people just got sick of her. Yeah. And it was too much. But Daisy, I mean, again, she's classic. She's, she's Fab Five adjacent, and I can't, not in the first round. I can't vote against Daisy.
All right.
So that would make
That's fair.
That's 3-1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. And don't worry, we'll get into the interesting ones. But I have a feeling this is probably going to be another clean sweep. But Meg versus Raya, or Raya, however you want to pronounce it. Let's start off, Katie. What do you think about this one?
I don't know. I don't really know much about Raya. I know very little. But I'm also like, I don't really want to vote for Megara, mainly because she was partially a villain for like half the movie. She was on the side of Hades. And then she was like, well, that's being bad, so I'm going to go be good over here. But it took her a bit. She could have just done that in the first place. So I'm like, I kind of want to vote for Raya because I'm pretty sure she was more true to herself than Megara was, because Megara didn't want to be the helpful one. She was on the side of Hades for majority of the movie.
Well, to defend Meg, Hades literally owned her soul. So she was quite literally life or death situation, contractually obligated to do his bidding. Now that doesn't mean she was strong and did what she could to make her own decisions. But I'm not really going for the whole damsel in distress vote here. And I think no matter how much I love Hercules in that movie, I think her role that plays into, oh, you need a man to save you, because it is ultimately Hercules who saves her in the end. So I'm going to go with Raya, because she honestly fights like heck to save her culture and, reunite peace in all the lands. I really think she is a strong character. Whether you like the movie or not, I think she's better.
I am so shocked right now.
Right?
Wow.
Eating my words with the thought of a clean sweep.
As the API on the panel, I'm sure everyone thought that I would have voted for Raya, but no, I'm voting for Meg because because that song, I won't say I'm in love, is one of my favorite Disney songs of all time. And she sold her soul to Hades, but that was for her boyfriend. She did it for a good reason. Now her boyfriend turned out to be a jerk. I mean, who hasn't been there where it's like, oh, you do all of these great things for somebody that, you think that you love, and then he turns out to be a jerk. So I can relate to Meg. Meg is my choice.
Yeah. So it looks like we're gonna have our first tie, chat. So get ready to type your vote. Because yeah, I'm also going to vote for Meg. Because
Wait,
I'm sorry,
wait.
she literally says in the show. What?
That's not a tie. I thought, didn't Meg already have 2 votes? I could be wrong.
No, I could be wrong. I thought Katie voted for
Katie
Raya.
and Emma.
No, I voted for Raya.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. See, my brain is fried. I apologize.
No, it's fine. But she literally says Emma in the movie, and it's one of my favorite quotes ever. I'm a damsel. I'm in distress. I think I can handle this. And tells Hercules to buzz off.
Oh,
When she is quite literally in distress.
Last
and she
weekend,
does just as, and really, she only saves him because he saves her first. Like, he doesn't have his powers anymore, and she shoves him out of the way of the column, which breaks the deal with Hades that nothing bad was going to happen to her. And then he, in turn, yes, had to go save her, but she technically saves him first.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry,
last weekend when I went to go pick up Tom's microwave because he was moving and I needed a microwave, I was like, I'll carry this microwave. He's like, oh, you don't need any help? And I said, I'm a big, tough, strong, tough girl. I can tie my own sandals and everything. She's so quotable.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like, her
I can't
level
tell
of
you one
sass
line
is
from
just-
Raya.
No,
That's
again,
fair.
it didn't even make enough impression on me to fully see the movie. Like, I've seen bits and pieces. I have not been able to fully sit down and watch that movie since it came out. Because it just didn't grab me. But let's kick it over to the chat then, because it is technically a tie. I do already
They're
see
saying
some
Meg.
early votes.
They're
for
saying
Meg.
there's 5 from Meg right now.
Yeah.
Is there 5? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now,
6.
to defend myself, yes, I know, like, this was not an easy decision for me.
No, not at all.
It was just,
No.
I was just saying, like, as far as, like, again, my thing with Meg is that her whole story is tied to, like, a man. That doesn't make her not a good person, or,
I mean,
again, like the damsel in distress line, that is one of my favorite Disney lines ever.
I
But
mean, theoretically,
that's why
Raya's
Raya
story
takes
is
a
tied to her
slight edge.
dad. Isn't her dad a band? So there you go.
Huh? Oh.
Raya's story is tied to her dad.
Well, no, but I mean, I'm sorry, specifically
That's got
tied to
weird
a love
implications.
interest. You know what I mean? Like, tied to a love interest. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right,
to
fair enough.
clarify.
Before we move on, though, I do want to go back up and thank Steven for his $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. He wants to know if there's going to be a Captain Carter or Natasha Romanoff.
Now I feel really bad.
Are we including
I
Marvel this
remembered to include Star Wars. I forgot about Marvel. Sorry.
Jessie.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't know what I was thinking, and now I feel terrible because I'm like, oh,
I
this
really
person
do
shouldn't have
too.
been on the list.
Next
Now
year.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at my head like, Alon, we
Next
should have been
year.
out of here. We should have-
No, we will figure out how to include them somehow. Maybe they'll be. We'll figure it out. But yeah, no, I do feel bad because, like, yeah, Scarlet Witch should have been in here too. Wanda, and
She should
a
have.
few others.
I was literally
It's
Scarlet
fine.
Witch for Halloween last year. My whole family.
Anyways,
my husband
moving
was
on.
Vision. Our kids were Billy and Tommy.
It's fine. So our next one though is but yes, we will figure out, maybe we'll do Marvel next year or have a quick like side seed of Marvel.
We'll
But our
definitely include
next
them
one
next time.
is Danielle from Ever After versus Giselle from Enchanted.
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 Yeah.
Enchanted. So, Emma?
So who's Danielle?
She's Cinderella.
Sure. She's Cinderella, technically.
Ever After? Wait, how have I not seen this
With
movie?
Drew Barrymore?
Clearly I need to watch this movie.
Barrymore movie.
Oh my gosh, such a good movie. I did a high school history report on this
Fantastic
movie.
movie.
Okay, well, clearly I have to go watch this movie now. Anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna, and you know what? I'm gonna pick Danielle over Giselle anyway. And I love Giselle, but I can't. Like, I get it's the whole like classic damsel in distress thing, which again, like, it's good for her that she, kind of stepped out of that, and like she did kind of was able to go on a journey to find out like what she really wanted and in life, which was again different and at least a little more interesting than some of the original princess stories that we've seen. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Danielle even though I haven't seen the movie. I know, I'm sorry, y'all, don't come for me.
I can't believe you grew up in the 90s and never saw Ever After.
Barely. I was born in 96.
So? Like, it used to rerun all the time in the early millennium.
That's true.
I did my high school history report where I took this movie and I figured out what was historically accurate from it and what wasn't. So
Wow.
this prince did not marry somebody named Danielle, who was a commoner. He married de Medici. But I still love Danielle as a character. Like you were saying, Emma, she's not a damsel in distress. She literally, like, when they are in trouble and the gypsies tell them, okay, you can leave with your lives, but you can only take what you can carry with you. And so she picks up the prince and carries him off. Like, she saves his life because she's like, I can carry him. I'm just going to carry him off, and that's how I'm going to save him.
Well, there you go. Even better.
Excellent points all around.
Yeah. I know nothing about Ever After or Danielle. Absolutely nothing. But I'm just like, I'm listening to these arguments, and I'm just like, the fact that, like, it's been so long since I've seen Enchanted that I'm just like, I don't really remember how it ended. I remember Giselle had the sword, but that's like kind of it. I don't remember if she ended up having to be saved in the end.
Yeah, so the prince tried kissing her. The prince
Does
tries
she say
kissing
so?
her. He doesn't wake her up. And so McDreamy, what's his name? I don't know what his real name is.
It's McDreamy. I don't know his name.
His name's
Basically.
McDreamy. McDreamy wakes her up even though he's from like the common era and not from fairy tale land.
Yeah, but there's like a whole
like she does fight for
sequence
herself,
after
but
that.
yeah. There are, and she does fight for herself then, but it still is very much man has to save her, which
Man has to
Darn.
kiss to wake up so that she
yes,
can fight.
that.
Yeah.
Someone in the comments, Giselle is Snow White, but with a character arc.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
That's
And
actually a
Danielle
good
is
summary.
Cinderella, but with a character
With
arc.
more character development. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Someone's like,
I
I'm surprised
do
you
like
guys
the-
don't like Giselle. And I'm like, I
Yeah,
love
Liz,
Giselle.
we do
like
I
Giselle.
watched that
I
movie
do
like
as much.
5,000 times as a kid.
I do
yeah.
like
It's
Giselle,
just like
but
it's a hard decision, especially when you
I like
don't know
Danielle
much about the
better.
other. I think I'm gonna vote for Giselle just because I actually know a lot about her. She chose to
That's
give
fair.
up her princess life to live a more common life, to follow
Yeah.
herself. So I'll vote for
Alright.
Giselle.
There you go.
Ashley.
I'm definitely I gotta go with Danielle. I mean, Giselle was cute. It was a great movie, but it's Ever After I could sit down and watch, especially on like any rainy Saturday afternoon. I don't know if I watched Enchantment in the past like 10 years. I don't
And
think
it's
I've watched it
Enchanted,
since like
and nobody can
shortly
even get
after.
to
It's right. I messed it up, and now everybody's saying enchant. It's yes.
Yeah.
So
It's not a terrible
just-
fireworks show.
Yeah. Oh God. That's
that
where
has
it came
no
from.
lyrics or musical composition.
Yeah, that's a separate rant for a separate day.
Yes.
But yeah, so yeah, I gotta go with Danielle. I just have no interest in rewatching Giselle's story, but again, ever after I could rewatch over and over and over again. So next one, and maybe I'll be wrong again. Actually, well, I don't think I'm going to be wrong, but I think this is going to be a surprising upset for the audience, maybe. But Elsa versus Lottie. And for those of you who need to Google, Lottie is Tiana's best friend from Princess and the Frog. Yep, Charlotte.
Her father is Big Daddy.
Fluffy dress.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. We counted her as a princess because technically she was a Mardi Gras princess, and the whole reason of trying to get to her was because she was a princess to try to kiss
till midnight.
Veen. Yep. And true. Happy Mardi Gras tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, that's right. Tomorrow is. Yep.
True.
So I'm gonna kick this one off. I think I've told this story before, but I was a preschool teacher when Frozen came out, and I will never forgive Elsa for the amount of times that I had to listen to Let It Go on repeat. That was a personal hate crime. And Lottie is just, she is such a cute and, to me, well-written side character, because you see her and she's big and, you know, she has this huge personality, and you think, oh, she's just the spoiled rich girl that, you know, was friends with Tiana because her mom made her dresses, and you don't really think that they have more than like this superficial friendship based completely upon the fact that, you know, again, her mom makes her dresses, Tiana makes the wonderful beignets, and that it's a completely surface level friendship. But then especially when she invites Tiana to the party, and of course originally Tiana's working the party with the beignets. But when she sees her so upset and with everything that happened, she completely flips. She is, you know, she's there for Tiana. She takes her upstairs, gets her a dress. Like she completely forgets about the party, forgets about the prince, and her entire focus is on making Tiana feel better. And I just think that was such a cute little aside, you know, to not necessarily always judge people by the first impressions that you get from them, and not just assume, you know, how people are going to act and react in certain situations. But at this, she, to me, is just hilarious. Her her cute little quotes. When a woman says, what does she say? When a woman says "not right now," she means never, or something
never.
Like that.
When
the boy asked her to dance, you know, it was just cute. It was funny. You know, she thinks the prince is coming and stuffing the tissues everywhere. Again, just completely hysterical and adorable to me. So yeah, my vote's going to Lottie.
Okay, I'm going to go next.
Lottie
only because
makes a move on a child at the end of her movie, so I'm going with Elsa.
I forgot about that. Yeah, so, and I mean, my vote's going to go to Elsa, and I love Lottie. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love that character so much. But the other important thing for Elsa is, like, she's the first any royalty figure that we see in a Disney animated movie that doesn't have a love interest. And, like, she goes through a lot and handles it the best that she can and handles it well, and she triumphs in the end. Like, both of her both of her parents dying, like having the kingdom thrust upon her and having to all of a sudden like assume the throne at a very young age, like being shut in because her whole life, like she has a lot to deal with. And yes, she's a little bit of a mess, but in the end she comes out successful.
I'm not necessarily saying that you're wrong to vote for Elsa, but I don't know if I would go with the argument that she handles it perfectly well. She keeps hiding even when she's technically queen for years and years and years until pretty much her 21st birthday. And then when she does get upset, she freezes everybody and runs away.
But that's why I said as well as she can, because she had a lot of childhood trauma that she had to deal with.
Running away is the best.
But she didn't know how to control her powers.
A reason.
The freezing was an accident.
But that's not a great way to handle things. Freezing everyone and running away, not great. And then
that was an accident though. Like she can control
your sister's
that.
heart when she tries to come and get you again. Not the greatest
accident. Again, she's doing as well as she can. She's going on this self journey to try and understand why she's doing that, and then learns that it's fear. That it's all based
she just
out
runs
of
away
fear.
and hides.
But because she's afraid,
it all could have been avoided. There would have been no movie if the parents listened to the trolls in the first place, because the trolls warned them, don't have her hide it. Don't have her be afraid of it. That's when it's going to get bad. But they're like, okay, here's gloves. Now you're locked in your bedroom. Don't use your powers. It was like they handed her a dish of create a movie because we don't listen to the magical trolls that understand your powers. So I'm just like, guys.
So what's your vote?
My vote is Lottie because she's a good friend. She's
always
there for
chat. Now we got to go to the chat.
Because I'm like, I watched Elsa way too much. Frozen it came out when I was in 5th grade. So every teacher I had was just like, hey, so I'm not teaching today. Let's watch Frozen. Let's watch Frozen. Let's watch Frozen. And I'm just like, guys, stop.
I'm seeing some Elsa.
Oh man, this is like
Lottie.
Poor Elsa had
I feel like this is a tie. Okay.
All right, they're
3
coming
Elsa,
in.
4 Elsa.
All right, we put up a
It's
valiant
Elsa.
effort, but Elsa it is.
Okay. There we go.
I just can't get over
Lottie.
her hitting on a child.
Well, that's also true too.
So
We don't know. She was very committed.
She really wanted to be a princess.
She really did. Like that was a very a need for her, not just a want.
I personally thought it was a joke when I first watched it.
I thought so.
I was like,
all right,
but she might be serious.
Our next one, though. So now we're gonna get to Elsa's sister. Anna versus Maribel.
Oh, is in Encanto Maribel? Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So what do we think?
I don't know. This is another tough one because, I mean, if anything, their stories are very similar, but I mean, as in they're family oriented. Their arcs.
They both have family members who are magical, but they themselves are not magical, and they wind up saving the family saving the whole country by embracing their love of their family. So they're both very similar. I don't know who to vote for. I see them both
either.
Late.
I mean, I think, again, just to kind of, because I'm looking at this from a modern lens today as well, just because of, I think, just Anna following the stupid love interest thing, and again, literally willing to marry a man who she just met. Because of that, Mirabelle's going to take the slight edge for me.
All right, I'm going to vote for Anna only because I already know that Elsa won the last round, and that would mean that they would have to go up against each other in the next one.
Oh,
I think
that
we know
would be
who
interesting.
would win that fight anyway.
I will say that for as many issues as I do have with Elsa and how she handled some things, that was a great, especially big sister moment, was looking at her little sister and saying, you can't marry someone you just met. Like, this is stupid. This is not a thing that's going to happen. But and I think for that reason alone, you know, I kept going back and forth. Um, it, Anna was cute. She had her moments. But again, just the gullibility and naivety. And again, just like I gave Elsa crap for how she handled, you know, her stress and everything, you can't blame Anna for how naive she was. She, you know, she was a little girl and all this stuff happened and she was locked away in the castle too. Granted, she ran around a lot more, but she didn't have anybody teaching her or molding her, and she didn't even have the advantage of being as old as Elsa was when she lost her parents. Um, I'm gonna go with Maribel.
Katie.
This is hard because I'm like, I like Anna because she wanted to do what she could to take care of her sister, even though she didn't know how to actually do it. But also, Mirabelle, the whole point of the story was she had to take care of her family. Right?
Mm-hmm. Well, kind of.
Well,
Yeah.
she
Like,
didn't realize
very
that she was the
generalized,
solution.
but
Yeah, but she, in other words, like, it was up to her to, like, she took it upon herself to save her, to fix what was wrong and save her family and try and reunite them.
and Anna did kind of the same thing with I need to go take care of my sister. So I'm just like,
I feel like I'm only going to give Anna the edge because she literally put her life on the line and stood between her sister and
She
a
did.
sword.
And Hans of the
Whereas
Southern Isles.
Mirabelle, yes, she helped get her family back together, but she didn't literally put her life on the line to do so.
yeah, that's a good point. Okay, I'll vote Anna.
Oh, we
Now
have
we
another
go to the
tie.
chat.
Another tie. All right, chat.
Oh,
All right,
is that a
Chad,
tie?
it's
I
up
thought
to
there
you.
were other twos for Anna.
No, there was nope. Because Emma and I both voted for Maribel.
Mm-hmm.
So chat, 15 seconds. Get your votes in.
Oh, Soccer Face doesn't deserve this, LOL.
You're just burning out on Frozen, so we're discounting the Mirabelle as new.
Y'all, we're not Frozen haters, okay?
It's a tie.
I see a lot
don't
of
like
Anna's.
Frozen personally, and I voted for Frozen. So
Yeah.
I like
That
both
says a
Frozen
lot.
and Encanto.
Okay, it seems like Anna's kind of taken the
Yeah.
the edge here.
I'm seeing a lot of Anna. Oh, there's two Maribels,
There's two Maribels,
but there's still more Annas.
there is still more
Mhm.
Anna. So I think we're gonna give it to Anna. Here's a fun one from the old school. Alice versus Wendy. And fun fact, they actually have the same voice actress, which is how they got
That
the
is true.
matchup.
They do. That is very interesting.
But there's no cut and dry man. So what do we do this time?
No, their stories are both very much coming of age, right? Like Alice is learning, you know, is kind of starting to make that transition from childhood to adulthood. Wendy, you could argue the same thing. Like she all of a sudden is in Neverland and has to take care of her brothers and protect them. And
Well, hers is literally precipitated by that night. Her dad loses his crap and says, "You're moving out of the nursery when we get home."
Yep.
And is basically telling her that you are growing up tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think I got to give it to Wendy. I really do. Because, I mean, that's, you know, like a big, that, you know, that's kind of a shock to deal with. And yes, she does escape to Neverland. But, I mean, she does protect her brothers and does the best to take care of them. And I think that's admirable. And I don't know. I mean, Alice is, yes, she goes through a lot too, but I still think that the story more happens to her rather than like we don't really see much of a character arc from her. I mean, if we're talking about animated Alice specifically, right? Like not the Tim Burton or
No,
anything.
not
Okay,
Tim Burton
so animated Alice specifically. Yeah, if it was a different Alice, like one of the more modern ones, I would say differently. But because this is the animated Alice, like the story happens to her and we don't really see much of a character arc from her, I'm going to go with Wendy.
Yeah. I agree with you, like, on all those points. I also like how when Wendy was in Neverland, talking about Minecraft, wrong show. When she gets to Neverland, she's willing to take care of the Lost Boys as well. They might not be her siblings, but she's kind enough to be like, well, I'll take care of you too. Because she is the more mature one. So she steps up and does that, which I think is very admirable. Because she didn't have to. They weren't her siblings. She could have been like, bye. But, so long. But she was willing to take care of other people and be there for others. And
she
like
stood up for herself. Squirrel no carry firewood.
Yeah.
Yep.
So my vote's definitely for Wendy.
My vote's also for Wendy for the same reasons.
I gotta say, everybody summed it up really well. And don't get me wrong, I love Alice. That's one of my favorite classic movies. There's a whole shelf up here that's pretty much straight up devoted to Alice. But Wendy is the better character, I think. Just for all the reasons that everybody said. Alice is cute. Alice is great. She does kind of learn something about responsibility by the end of the movie, but they don't really make that abundantly clear. Mm-hmm. But, Wendy, I like to think of it as Wendy understands that she has to grow up, but she doesn't have to lose that sense of adventure and whimsy. And you do even kind of see that in the Return to Neverland sequel. Her daughter Jane is, it's World War II. She's all gung-ho to grow up, and she has to be this big girl to deal with the trauma of war. And, Wendy remembers all of that and tries to keep her little girl a little girl for as long as she can, because she knows how precious that is. So yeah, our first blowout in quite a while.
Boom.
Yeah, Wendy.
Someone in the chat was like, Jill will have your heads for this, and then went,
no, she won't.
Heads.
No, she won't.
And I'm just like, oh my god.
Well,
I
y'all chill.
Alice's movie and everything that happens around her, but as a character, I like Wendy better.
Yeah.
That's a good way to sum it up. Movie, but it's not.
Yeah.
None of us voting is saying that we absolutely hate the other character. We have to pick one or the other.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
We have to rank them somehow.
Otherwise, this will be an even longer show than it already is.
Right. It's already 8:45.
It's fine. Everything's fine. All right. Our last one for our top left corner bracket. Merida versus Maid Marian.
I think I know where Emma's gonna go.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Merida.
I'll go ahead and make it short and sweet. Merida, I think, and I think I pretty much talked about it during the Thanksgiving marathon show, if anybody watched, but Merida got screwed with a very weak movie. She is, if you take the first half of that movie before all the weird bear stuff starts to happen, she's a really great character. And she does still have a character arc. I don't think it's as strong as it could have been, especially with her, defending her right to not have to just marry whomever won the archery contest, because she was better than all of them. So that's my vote. Short and sweet. Merida is a fantastic princess who I would love for them to do something else with, because her movie is just terrible. Well, the second half of her movie.
Yeah.
Marian does marry who won her in an archery contest. So
That is true.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, Merida. Easy one for me.
I'm gonna vote Merida, but I do want to point out a con towards her. She let her emotions drive her just a little too much. She got angry at her mom and went, "You know what? I'm gonna go to the witch now and ask for some help."
In
Like,
that same
yes,
vein,
she wanted
though,
something to change her destiny, but it's like, it's so risky to do that. She didn't think it through.
No, but she was 15. Elsa was 21 and didn't handle her emotions so well that she froze a city.
By accident.
It doesn't matter. It still happened because her emotions got out of control.
Okay, wait, no.
Okay,
Last thing
we
I'll
all
say
need
about
to
Elsa is,
agree.
here's the
Elsa
thing.
needs therapy. That's all we got here.
Yes, but it was also like, it was kind of refreshing to see a character that wasn't perfect, that wasn't this perfect picture, that actually had problems that she had to work through.
You're not wrong. I'm just saying, if it's a con against Merida, who was 6 years younger, that she makes a rash decision and something terrible happens. But it's not a rash decision when the 21-year-old does it. I just have questions.
No, it's rash for both. I just was like, I did think about this, but also Maid Marian in the Disney animated version didn't do as much. She didn't help out as much. Because in the original Robin Hood, she helps Robin Hood escape.
She does a lot.
She tries to make sure that King Arthur is safe. She's actually trying to do more with the construct she had, but in the animated version, they didn't do her justice. So definitely Merida.
All right. Another sleep.
Woohoo. So 2 sweeps close out our top bracket.
Someone said in the chat, or Dawn said, Elsa must have stolen Ashley's lunch money.
I was just laughing
all
at
in
that.
good fun. I just have questions.
Is she okay? Does she need a hug?
Right? Just saying, there are healthier ways to channel your emotions than accidentally freezing an entire town and running away. It's just an observation.
Keep my mouth shut now. Anyway.
All right, so moving on now to the bottom left. We'll throw this back up for just a quick second. So we have finished out the top left, and now we're on to the bottom left. And again, we'll try to have we'll have this updated for the next show. But our first round couldn't be too well. I'm sure you could, but 2 of our biggest opposites: Mary Poppins versus Jessica Rabbit.
But OG Mary Poppins, right?
Versus not bad, just in that way.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go with Mary Poppins. I mean, I know we're trying to change Jessica Rabbit's image right now with like Detective Jessica Rabbit or whatever they're doing with like the Roger Rabbit ride
Nancy
over in
Drew
the DCA
crossover.
Yeah, but I'm going to go with Mary Poppins. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Mary Poppins for me too.
I love Roger. I love Jessica. That's one of my favorite movies. But Mary Poppins is just a stronger character.
I agree. Yeah, I love Who Framed Roger Rabbit as a movie. Just
like Jessica, she does have the frying pan, and she is trying to save everybody. She's doing what she can, but it's just Mary Poppins is a lot stronger.
Yes.
Yeah,
she's just a better.
I mean,
character.
I would have to agree with that. Again, Jessica's a great character, and I think, again, we talked about this on a previous episode. I'm personally of the opinion that she didn't need to be changed. I don't think there was anything wrong with her image to begin with, and I think changing it is kind of more harmful and a disservice. But again, that's a previous episode on changes at Disney, if you want to go back and watch that. But again, Mary is the better fleshed out, more rounded, again, just all around better character. So,
Yep.
Easy.
and someone asked me in the chat if I would yell at the real Elsa. No, I wouldn't yell at the real Elsa. I would ask her if she's kind of like Katie said. I would ask her if she was okay, and I would try to help her.
Yeah, we're not mean people.
No, I'm not a mean person. I'm just
we just get in very heated discussions.
Fun.
Yes. But we're all laughing in the end. Like, we're not angry at each other.
Right.
It's all good.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
And again, I don't wish any ill on Elsa. I know I tease about the freezing of a city, but it's
Hey,
fine.
if I lived there, I would have really liked it because I don't see snow. So, free snow.
I would
You can
hate
come to
it.
North
There's a
Georgia
reason
and
I
get a
live in
little
Florida.
taste of it. Yeah, I left
I'd
Utah
like it from
for a
time
reason.
to time.
It's cute the first couple of times, but if you're not bred for it, it's not fun.
That's true.
But our next one, Jessie from Toy Story versus Eve from WALL-E.
No, why do you have to make me choose?
You're giving her a bit of
Pixar round.
Somebody else go, please.
Eve is able to convey so much emotion without even needing to say anything. So that's why I'm going to go with Eve. And also, for the same reason that Ashley voted against Elsa, I'm going to vote against Jessie because my kid's favorite movie is Toy Story 2, and I watched that over and over and over again. So, for spite, I'm voting for Eve.
For pure spite.
I think
Pure spite
you make a
over my
good point though that even though she doesn't really say anything, that Eve is, a more interesting and compelling character. And I'm sorry, but Jessie has her moments, but Jessie is also a lot. And very quickly, I think, becomes exhausting, especially like when she first meets Woody and everything. It's just, she can become very annoying very quickly.
Oh my God, the Sarah McLachlan scene, like, too much. Too much.
Yeah.
So sad.
Well, like anything, Sarah, like you're expecting the puppies to come on, and it's gut-wrenching. That was a lot of too many feels. And who didn't, especially when you were like our age watching it for the first time, because you were kind of at that age, if you were like a child of like the 90s and about the first, was like, you like started growing out of your choice. Like who didn't automatically feel just like insanely guilty for all of your Barbies and everything that you had left behind because of that dadgum song? Like
that is like a crazy good point. And I was a lot younger. I was still like a little kid. So when it's like, okay, it's time to like go through your toys, figure out what you want to get rid of, I stopped wanting to get rid of things after that movie. I was like, I can't do that. I can't do that to any of my stuffed animals. I can't do that. But it was like, as I got older, I grew out of that. But it's like, that song, that scene definitely did that to me as a kid.
It's the arms of an angel for toys. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think...
Who was the other one?
Yeah,
We've just been talking about Jessie.
Wally.
So just thinking about, like, to kind of talk about Eve a little bit, like, she really is a great character. And, I mean, she does, like, save, the whole... humanity. Her and Wally work together. But as far as, like, she's kind of a badass. Like, she... is not afraid to fight the system that this whole ship by herself, basically. I mean, she does get help, but she's not afraid to rebel and do what she needs to do to help her friend and, eventually love interest. But, yeah, I think I'm going to go with Eve too, which I didn't think I was going to after hearing different points being made, but I think I'm going to go with Eve.
I realized I didn't say my vote. I'm voting Eve. I only talked about Jessie. I apologize.
I mean, that's fair. So we have another vote
against Jessie.
Like, I love Jessie. I love her spirit. I
mean,
love how she can make you smile. But it's also, you do think about the negatives when you think of Jessie, and you think about that song that if my mom was in the room, we would skip that part of the movie. We would fast forward through it because it was like, no, it's too sad.
It's too much.
But
It's too much. If you're watching it all the time, we skip through it every once in a while.
It's a very beautiful song though. Like, and it's very well written. And if you haven't listened to, I think it's the Voctave, it's Broadway and Main Street Volume 2. Liz Calloway is featured on their rendition of that, and it's fantastic. So go listen to that and feel your feels.
No. Again, yeah. No, it's just, and again, like you said, beautiful song. It's a beautiful moment. And I think it does make an interesting story for her, but that's a lot of feels for a Disney sequel. And again, especially when your target audience had watched Toy Story 1 when they were Andy's age, and then everybody was convinced that their toys were alive. And then you go a few years and you get a little bit older and you're kind of growing out of it, but not quite. And then you watch Jessie talk about being abandoned. And again, you go back to all the stuffed animals and all the toys that you've started to purge because you're starting to become a preteen and a teenager. And again, that's a lot of feels that no one was prepared for.
I don't know. I like sad things. Anyway. So.
All right.
The thing with sad things is it does move the story along. It does create character. It does add dimension. Mm-hmm. But as the viewer, do you want to be sad? No, you want to be happy.
And I think there's a place for it. And again, like I said, it is a lot of feels, but it did, because I would argue that if not for that backstory, all of her like over emotion, and again, where she's being a lot and is just loud and in your face and everything, would have been very annoying. And I don't think people would have liked her without that backstory and understanding of why she is the way that she is. Mm-hmm. Because that really helped you connect with her and understand where she was coming from.
Sorry, I'm looking up when Toy Story 2 came out.
92?
Was it like 90? No, that was when the first 90? One came out in like 93, 94. The second one came out in like 97, 98.
Okay, never mind.
99. November 99.
Ah, dang it.
Okay.
So I would have been 10. Gosh.
I would have been in 10th grade.
I would have been -4.
Oh my God.
I can't. All right, moving on.
This will be a great one, though. This will be a fun one. Belle versus Anastasia. Because she is now technically a Disney princess because Disney bought Fox.
Yep. She's on Disney
She's
Plus.
on Disney Plus.
She counts.
This is hard because I love Anastasia. I really do. I love the animated movie and I love the musical, but we all know, controversial, I know, it was very hot topic when during the marathon show about about my affinity for Belle. But again, having had that conversation, and you can go back and watch that if you want to hear my argument on that. I think I'm going to go with Anastasia with the slight edge for this. Surprisingly. Shocking. I know.
Katie?
So we've got one for Anastasia.
I don't know much about Anastasia. I know there was a Broadway show at one point.
Yeah.
But that's like it. So I'm like, I don't know if I should vote for Belle just because I don't know anything. Because like I tried looking.
That's why we voted for Cinderella.
I mean, the rules are there are no rules. You could vote for Belle just because there is no rhyme or reason. You can vote for somebody
because they have more cash registers at their address.
This is very true. There is no rhyme or reason to WDWNT March Madness voting. That is the only rule.
Never.
We try, but there doesn't have to be any reason whatsoever. The spirit moved you. It's fine. You don't have to feel guilty.
There's boats in somebody's movie.
It's in Epcot. It doesn't.
Jason. I say that wearing my Horizon shirt anyway.
I feel like I kind of want to vote for Anastasia because, like, is it Anastasia? I think it's Anastasia.
Yeah.
Mainly because, like, I've heard bits and pieces. I've never, like, watched or actually sat down to, like, understand. But people have always said that they love that movie and that it always stuck with them or it was a childhood favorite. So it's just like Belle was never really, Beauty and the Beast was never one of those movies that kind of stuck with me as I was growing up or something that I was like, I definitely need to rewatch that. But everyone talked about Anastasia while I was growing up and how they always rewatched it and how much they loved it. So I'm gonna go with Anastasia.
I loved both of these movies growing up, but Belle has many cash registers inside of Be Our Guest, and she has the sing-along at Epcot. So because of cash registers and Epcot, I'm going to go with Belle.
Okay.
She also has the stage show for Hollywood Studios.
Yes.
And she has Enchanted Tales, even though I don't think it's open again yet. But she does have her
it's still there.
It's coming.
Yeah.
This one was shockingly hard. And I think Beauty and the Beast was one of my favorite movies growing up. You know, I tried, at least I hope I defended her well during the marathon show. You know, with me and Jill. But and I will say this, if there was yeah. But it was, again, all in good fun.
We can put it up to the chat.
It's true.
But the one thing that I will say about Anastasia is if there was one movie that, of all the other animated movies that came out when we were kids that were not Disney movies, but were, you know, American Tail and Land Before Time, and all of those were great movies, but there was only one of them that I ever consistently heard mistaken for a Disney movie, and that was Anastasia. I mean, it was beautifully done. The music's incredible. Katie, I would strongly encourage when you have some time to go back and watch it because it really is a beautiful movie.
Yes.
And it's fantastic. It's a shame that it honestly wasn't a Disney movie. Although, candidly, especially in the era when it came out, I don't know that it would have been as good as it was.
Yeah.
But all of that said, I got to give the edge to Belle. I mean, she was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture when that wasn't even a thing for animated movies.
That's true.
Yes, someone just said that in the chat.
All right.
That
All
right, chat.
Animated.
Go at it.
Yep, but that's 2-2. 15, 20 seconds.
I see a
We love y'all.
Belle's
We got to move it
already in
along.
there.
Yeah.
Belle is already in there.
Yeah. I see a couple.
10 seconds.
Oh,
see
there
one.
we go.
Okay, there we go. I was going to say there is a little bit of a delay, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 for
It's
Belle.
2 for Belle, so this far.
3.
Yeah. She's got cash registers, and she's at Epcot, so yeah. No
She's
boats,
in
though.
2 shows
No
at
boats.
Hollywood Studios. She's in
This is
Fantasmic and the Beauty and the Beast show. She's everywhere.
Fantasmic. That's a boat, Belle.
Oh my god. I can't.
All
Okay,
right.
I think the chat is saying Belle because I haven't seen it
Yeah.
for Anastasia. I will say that the other thing that's hard for me is I enjoy singing, like just personally singing both of these characters' songs a lot, like because they're both so well written. Anyway, we should move on.
I mean, definitely honorable mention to Anastasia. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Thanks, Trauma Factor, for your $2 super
thank
chat.
you.
A to you too.
All right, our first fully non-human matchup. I guess technically Maid Marian wasn't human, but Lady
Dory and
versus
Daisy.
Perdita. Oh, that's right. Okay, my bad. We've had two. Wow. All right, long night. Lady versus Perdita, though. What do we think? The Battle of the Dogs.
I like Lady and the Tramp as a movie better. However, just from like a mom perspective, I'm gonna go with Perdita.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Perdita as well. Just because, as far as what's standing out to me about their movies right now, and just again the character development itself, I think Perdita's a little better.
I would do Perdita as well. Like Lady's
Shocking.
a
I
nice
really thought Lady
character.
was
It's a
gonna be
nice movie, but Perdita she just stands out more.
Agreed. Again, Lady and the Tramp is a beautiful movie. I love the cute little story about they took the scene from the puppy in the hat box from Walt. But yeah, I mean, Perdita is just a better. She's just a better character. I mean, she goes off and helps save her puppies. So yeah, sorry, Lady. You're very cute and very sweet. But
I'm more likely
also
to
Tony,
buy Lady
Tony's
merch.
do what?
What, Emma?
No, I thought she was asking you to repeat what you said. I was just going to say that, and we have Tony's that came from Lady and the Tramp's movie, so that's a negative in my perspective.
That is true.
I like the theming of Tony's. I like how it's really pretty inside. But it's a flip of the coin of whether you're going to be lucky enough to have actually cooked food or if you're going to have microwave.
All right, moving on though. Minnie versus Bianca. What do we think?
Oh, the mouse round.
Oh,
Minnie Mouse versus Bianca from The Rescuers. Same reason I said Daisy versus Dory. You got to go with Minnie. She's other than Mickey, the main mouse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, maybe it's just because I don't know Bianca very well, because I haven't watched Rescuers in a really long time. And I mean, I guess there's something to be said, for Bianca being an adventurous character and, doing daring things. But again, the fact that I don't remember that movie as well, I think speaks to how, unmemorable as the character Bianca is. So I'm going to go with Minnie as well.
Minnie, even though she's always been on the side of Mickey, she's never let, that ever stop her. She's always going and doing her own things. She just strives for herself.
We have Minnie's style studio in Tokyo. Come on.
Yeah. I gotta agree, it's Minnie Mouse.
Yeah. I do like Bianca too. So I'm not voting against most of these characters. It's more like I'm voting for the one that I like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And that's why this is so hard.
I know. Nala versus Duchess.
Ooh.
I'm trying to remember.
Duchess is the
Duchess.
mom
Cat,
from
right?
Aristocats. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
I was thinking
Nala.
of the right character.
I don't know. Again, I love Duchess, but Nala, I mean, she, again, takes it upon herself to, if you think about it, yes, Simba does battle Scar in the end, but if it weren't for her, taking the initiative and the risk of going to find Simba, that end of the movie wouldn't have never happened.
It's true. I gotta vote for Nala.
Yeah, I gotta vote for Nala too. I like Duchess, I'm sorry, but yeah, Nala.
Yeah, Nala.
All right, this should be a good one. Tink versus Joy. And for the record, we're going with original Tink, not Tink from the prequel fairies movies. We're going with original Sassy Pants herself, from Peter Pan.
Where's the pillow?
Aww,
That's a good pillow.
Aww.
so cute.
That is a cute pillow.
Again, I like both of these characters. I did try to be friends with Tinkerbell's friend Silver Mist once, but they told me I was too short. But I still love Tinkerbell, so I gotta go with Tink.
Emma?
Yeah, I gotta go with Tink too. I love her sass and her spunk. And I think that's different for
I mean,
a lot of those female characters that we see that were made at that time.
I can relate to her measuring her hips too.
Yeah.
Same.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I gotta give it to Tink.
I'd give it to Tink as well. I literally was going to say the same thing as you, Emma.
Yeah. Pretty cool. You're actually very correct. She should have been arrested for attempted murder. But she's still a more fun character.
I didn't even see that. Oh my God.
In our opinion, apparently.
When did that happen?
She tells the Lost Boys to throw all the stuff at the Wendy bird.
Oh, that's true. She does. That's true. It's like, anyway, that just shocked me to see that in the chat. Anyway.
All right. And our last one for this side of the bracket. Moana versus Jane.
Moana.
Yeah.
She takes the initiative to go save her entire community. I do like Jane, but I'm still going to give it to Moana. And sorry to Phil Collins, but I like the music in Moana better too.
Oh,
Some
no,
of
that's
the
where
music in Moana better.
I'm voting for Moana, but I disagree with that.
I was gonna say, to me, I couldn't even compare the two.
I disagree.
Like, the styles are just so different that I feel like I couldn't even say one is better than the other. Like, I feel, as far as like, again, if you look at them as two, like, because since they live in two completely different eras of Disney music, I feel like you can't, like, I couldn't put one over the other for that reason. Anyway. Yeah, again, I think Jane, like, there's a lot of merit to her. Like, she is quite literally going on a very dangerous adventure, and is, I think she's very bold for being so inquisitive and curious, and she's very smart. But I think I have to go with Moana, just with a slight edge, because, like, that is a lot to, like, leave your whole family behind and everything that you know behind to save her world. Like, it's, yeah, that's a lot. So
I want to vote Jane for this one. Like, yes, Moana is the stronger character and she had the bigger story, but Jane just has such a kind heart. She was willing to, like, look past how Tarzan grew up and actually understand instead of placing judgment. So I really like Jane. Also, Phil Collins' music in that. I'm sorry, Desi, but it's so good.
Oh my God, it's so good. Oh, so good.
Well, sorry, Katie. It was a valiant effort, but 3-1 Moana takes it.
No, by all means, Moana deserves it.
So now we're going to head over to the other side of our bracket. We've made it through our left-hand side. We're going to skip over to the right-hand side. For sake of time, apologies.
I'm sorry, I'll shut up more.
No, it's okay, but we are going to have to speed run a little bit this side of the board. So, it is a school night, so we can get to bed at a decent hour. So, definitely compelling arguments, but, try to speed run as best we can. Ariel versus Kita from Atlantis. Desi?
Ariel. Unless it's Tyler dressed as Kita, because if you haven't seen that, it's fantastic. But,
amazing.
Ariel. Yeah.
Emma?
I bought the hat, even though it's ridiculous. Well, actually, Arlo bought it for me. It was very sweet of him. Even though the hat is ridiculous. Ariel.
Katie?
I'd vote Kita.
She's still a good character, but Ariel was the first movie I ever saw in the theater. So that's dating myself, but
I gotta give it
Ariel
to
was one
too.
of the first was one of the first Disney princess movies I think I was ever introduced to. So I also
think
have that
it was
same
my
kind of
first.
nostalgia.
Elastigirl versus Sally from
was it The Nightmare Before Christmas?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Or
That's what I was
Cars?
trying to remember, because we technically have two Sallys.
I couldn't remember which one we picked.
Oh, Elastigirl.
Nightmare.
I mean, I love Sally and I love Nightmare Before Christmas, but Elastigirl, like, come on, like she's not leaving.
Oh, that's right. We put them against each other because they both do weird things with their bodies.
Yeah,
that makes sense now. Anyway,
on that note, Desi, what's your vote?
Oh, can we come back to me? I don't know. I got to think about this some more.
Katie?
Because I love Sally so much, but I can relate to Helen more as a mom. Okay.
I'm just saying,
Go ahead,
she doesn't
Katie.
let the superhero saving up to the men. She does it herself.
True.
Yeah.
I like how Sally, no matter the consequences, wants to do what she wants. She's not going to let some guy control her. Just because he created her doesn't mean he has, like, ownership.
Yep.
So, like,
Yep,
I like how
true.
she was willing to do whatever she wanted to be able to get that freedom, to be able to do that. So, Sally.
I'm going to have to give it to Elastigirl. I've never been, like, maybe controversial. Objectively, I understand it's a great movie. But I've never been a huge fan of Nightmare Before Christmas. So yeah, I'm going to go with Elastigirl. But Desi, that leaves it up to you.
Then I'm going to go with Sally so that we can leave it up to the chat.
No.
All right, Chad, it's up to you.
There are already 3 Sallys from prior discussions.
There are already 3 Sallys.
But that was before we asked them to vote.
Okay. Got one more. We got one Elastigirl.
Yes. Ooh.
Oh, we're going back and forth.
Oh, well, that was the same person who voted twice.
Well, I figured we were just counting what was.
Yeah.
Okay, it's half
I think.
and half.
Yeah, I think it's half and half.
Oh.
Oh, we have a mark coming in.
Now's your chance, people.
Now's your chance. We're closing out. Get your votes in.
Oh, geez. This is like a tie.
Oh, my gosh.
It literally is a tie.
It literally
Oh, my God, it is a tie. We need one more vote.
Yeah, Dom, we're counting your Sally from before. Don't worry.
We are.
Oh, there's an Elastigirl.
Going once. Going twice.
Okay.
Another
I think
Elastigirl.
takes the slide out.
Elastigirl cinched
It
it.
is
By like a hair.
Elastigirl by She stretched over the finish line.
But worst joke of the night. No, I'm just kidding.
There we go. All right.
I don't have that button.
I know we don't have
Next
any buttons
one.
right now.
Trying to keep going with our speed run really quick. Rapunzel versus Elena of Avalor. Desi?
Okay, I feel guilty, and can I switch out Elena of Avalor for Wanda?
No, that's not how
Yes.
it
Because if I had thought about it, I would have picked Wanda instead of Elena, and I would have picked Natasha.
We're gonna do a side one of Marvel. We'll have a side debate about the best Marvel character.
All right, fine. Who was it against Elena?
Rapunzel.
Was it Rapunzel? Yeah, Rapunzel.
And Rapunzel has my vote.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Rapunzel.
Katie?
Oh, I was gonna do Elena. She has to run an entire land. I don't know if it's a country.
Is that I feel like Avalor is a country.
I don't know.
I mean, Corona is a country too, so eventually.
Yeah. All right, next one. Elizabeth Turner versus Lily Houghton from Jungle Cruise.
The Jungle Cruise. So Elizabeth Turner, Pirates versus Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, the age-old question. Katie?
Elizabeth.
Emma?
I'm going with the Jungle Cruise one. I can't remember her name. I'm sorry. It's escaping
Lily?
me. Lily, yes.
I'm going with Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
That's just surely because I love the one attraction over the other. Anyway.
Next, I have Snow White versus Sophia the First.
They're both the first. So Snow White was the first animated princess. And so if I was thinking about Marvel, I would have kicked out these Disney Junior characters.
It's true.
And
but
I feel
we
really
were
bad
scraping
about
for
it.
princesses, and we can't apologize enough for not thinking of more Marvel characters, because we did get one, Desi.
Snow White's the OG. I got to go with Snow White.
Yeah.
I can't let her go the first round. Maybe the next round I'll probably vote against her, but for the first round I can't let the OG go.
Respect to Snow White because she is the OG, but Sophia the First.
Emma?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I'm gonna go with Sophia the First too, only because the little that I know about her from having teaching children, she actually sounds kind of interesting, and I think that Snow White is not. So.
All right. Well, I'm going with Snow, so that is a tie to the chat. Get your votes in. The First or Snow White? And I guess on this one, since we're trying to sway the audience, Snow White is the OG. I mean, it's the first animated one.
You wouldn't have any of the rest of these
so
characters.
Much history.
You wouldn't have any of the rest of these princesses or leading ladies if it weren't for Snow White.
That's true, but I'm also trying to
based off the character. Sophia the First was able to do so much more, and she was just can't think of the words, but
Snow White was almost murdered and left in the woods to die.
And was still happy, still very sweet and kind. She didn't get jaded at all.
Sophia the First had a magic amulet where she could talk to all the other princesses when she needed help. And then she was also a commoner in the first place. And then her mom married the king, so that's how she became a princess.
Well, the chat is saying Snow White, so Snow White is going to take it.
Oh my god, my entire screen is just Snow White.
Yeah.
So our next one, Buttercup from oh god, my mind is so blank.
Princess Bride
versus Bo Peep.
Sorry,
Buttercup.
Why not?
For the same reason I voted against Jessie, I gotta vote against Bo Peep. So, Buttercup.
Why do you have
I
to
have
make
too
me
much Toy
choose?
Story in my life.
That's fair.
I mean, again, like I think again, just like I love these characters, but I think for just again, Buttercup was willing to like literally give up her life. I think for rather than suffer. But anyway, I'm gonna go with Buttercup. Also because it's a great movie, and if you haven't seen The Princess Bride, really
That's
go watch The
inconceivable.
Princess
Yes.
Bride. Please do.
Yeah,
No, that's
definitely got to
literally
give
my
it to
favorite.
Buttercup. Katie, I think you're the last one.
Oh, I said it before Desi, Buttercup. That movie,
Perfect.
I can literally recite that movie like line for line. It's just
Knowledge is what brings us
brings
together
us together
today.
today.
But
Um,
you have
reason
the
I
win?
put them against each other is they kind of start out with they're just like, this kind of love interest, and that's all that they are. But then by the end of their respective arcs, they are kicking butt and leading the way.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Agreed.
that's very true. I mean, again, both great characters, but there can be only one.
Buttercup.
Aurora versus Ada from A Bug's Life. I'm just going to go ahead and say Aurora.
Aurora.
Ada. I'm sorry. No.
I just
No.
don't like a bug.
And again, as far as just again character, like we don't see Aurora as a character. I have to go with Ada.
It's a beautiful movie.
I know.
It's a
Katie?
beautiful movie, but I'm just like I'm questioning
We can
because I
put
was
it to
gonna
the
say
chat again.
Aurora, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna do Ada.
All right, chat. 2-2. It's up to you. Who moves on? A Bug's Life?
Aurora
Ada
stood,
or Aurora.
and then Ada actually stood up for her ants,
Mm-hmm.
her
Yep.
fellow ants.
Exactly. She stood up to Hopper, and she took charge. Was a strong leader.
Oh yeah,
Like
Aurora had a
Yes.
lot thrown at her in the span of like
Yes.
4 hours.
Somebody
I mean, she went from being like a commoner living in a cottage to finding out that not only is she a princess, but her caretakers are fairies, and there's this evil fairy trying to kill her, and the guy that she's in love I don't think she ever figures it out, but the guy that she's in love with and wants to marry is actually a prince. Like, that's a lot to take in the span of basically a few hours.
But again, like this is the whole thing about the whole trope of like marrying a man you just met, sort of a thing. Like, I just
Times were
again
different in
movie
the what
happens
is it,
to her,
the
we don't get to
14th
know her as a
century?
character. Like the only things that we know about her is that she likes to walk around in the woods and that she falls in love with a man. That is it. She's asleep most of the time.
Right, it is very close, but I think it's going to Aurora.
it is
I
going
think
to
so.
Aurora.
Darn. Okay.
It was a valiant
Like, it's a
effort,
good
Emma.
movie. I love Maleficent and how she transforms into a dragon. But Maleficent
But
isn't
that's
the
not
character I'm choosing here.
Yeah, that's not the
We're
Aurora
choosing
that we're talking about either. We're talking about the original animated. We're not talking about her.
No, I'm talking about
About
like
the
the
live
animated
action.
dragon from the original.
Oh, yeah.
All right, last one for the top right. Tiana versus Amidala. Because again, why not? This one
You
was
mean
actually
Padme?
a tiny bit. Yes, Padme,
Padme
Queen
Amidala,
Amidala,
So I
Anakin's
do
baby mama. However
I
you want to
do
refer to
like
her.
Tiana. However, Padme is a queen. She is a senator. She carried twins and was still able to look amazing. I had one baby at a time and looked worse than she did with twins. So I'm going to go with Padme.
I highly doubt that. But I'm going to do Padme because even though she was a senator and a queen, she was still willing to risk her life and defend people and do what she needed to do to fight the fight.
Ashley, you go, because I'm still thinking about this. This is hard for me.
It's super hard for me too, because I love, I don't think I can say it enough. Princess and the Frog, and Tiana is one of my like top tier princesses. But Desi and Katie made a really compelling argument for Amidala. So yeah, I think I gotta vote for Padme.
Okay, hold on a second though. Like, let's just be weird. The whole, like, the relationship, like, if you go from beginning, Phantom Menace that she has with Anakin is very cringy. Like, with just the age difference, if you think about it, like, let's just remember that for a moment.
Didn't you vote for
Are
Lottie?
we voting for the relationship, or are we voting for Padme? Her entire character.
Well, no, I'm saying that's also part of her character. That's weird. That is just weird.
It is weird.
I mean, again, like, I obviously, like, Padme has already won based on the three.
Not that I'm defending it when they were that young. But I mean, if you think about it, their age difference is only really like what, 5? Like, it was still inappropriate in the first movie, but as they got older,
4
like,
years. I think he was 10 and she was 14.
Right. Like, you don't realize how young she is in the first movie because she's a queen and she, looks so much older. But if you actually, like, listen to the dialogue and everything, yeah, she's only, like, 14. She's not, like, still questionable, highly inappropriate in the first movie.
Yeah.
But not quite as weird as they get older.
Well, I think Tiana deserves,
by the second one when they're
I'm gonna
actually
give it to
adults.
Tiana, just for the sake of giving Tiana a vote.
Yeah, Tiana definitely deserves one. She's an amazingly strong character.
I love both of the characters. Mm-hmm. I tend to lean Star Wars.
That's definitely one of the hardest ones. And I didn't think I was going to vote for Amidala, but the more I think about it and the arguments, yeah.
And honestly, I think we had Tiana ranked high, so this is a pretty big upset.
Yeah, that was an upset.
We ranked Padme low.
Yeah. But speaking of the Skywalker family tree, next up, her daughter Leia versus Rey. And I'm just going to go ahead and get mine out of the way and say Leia. Because Rey, without Kylo in the third movie, is a trash character. There, I said it.
That's true, though.
The writing for her character wasn't very strong. They didn't do her justice. She could have been. She could have been amazing. So much better.
Look at Leia.
She had the potential. There were the possibilities.
Leia was fantastic. Leia had less screen time than Rey. I can't tell you a single quote from Rey from the first 2 movies. I can't. I don't. She's not a great character. She has no interesting dialogue. She's just there. Stuff happens to her.
I can only quote you things because of her interactions with Ben / Kylo.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just thinking about Rey by herself, without the Reylo dynamic, I gotta go with Leia. Even though I am a hardcore Reylo.
I hate this matchup. Why did you two do this to me? Anyway, because
it's fun.
No, it's not. Anyway, no, it is. But I gotta go with Leia because she's the OG of as far as like the Star Wars like female characters, and as far as like again just how, not that I'm trying to use iconic as a credential here, but again when it comes down to so close, like something has to take an edge for me, and she's the more memorable character in my mind, so I'm gonna go with Leia.
I like how Rey was a protagonist, and there was a female Star Wars protagonist, and it was great. She was wielding a lightsaber. It was nice to see, but it's also like Leia was just such a strong character in the first place. Yes, she was Princess Leia, but she never let that stop her. She was still
from the
going
first
out
second
and doing everything. Yeah.
And
Well,
she
from the
had
first
such
second that
witty
she got
comebacks
on
for
screen.
everybody.
Oh yeah,
true.
Her introduction on
The-
screen was basically telling, the guy off, saying, I should have known your foul stench anywhere. Like,
Yeah.
you are literally his prisoner and sassing. Like,
she
Right
did
out of
not
the gate.
care.
nope.
And the guys come to rescue her instead of being like, "Oh my God, thank God." She goes, "Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?"
Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Like, instantly suspicious.
Instantly has her guard up. Yeah.
She kills Jabba the Hutt. I mean,
She's the one who saves the three of them. Initially.
if we are talking like her whole
In the hallway,
arc,
yep.
they really did her dirty in The Rise of Skywalker. I realized that Carrie Fisher wasn't alive, but they made her the worst mother of all time because she basically wants her son to die. Whereas the first two movies, she was still holding out hope for Ben to come to the light. And then the third movie, they basically made it so that she distracts him so that Rey can stab him. And then she waits for him to die to be at peace so that she can fade into the Force. I mean, how horrible is that? But
she
just
would be
the original
going
trilogy, Leia.
to her son, but because if he actually died there, he would have gone into the Force as well. And then big happy family. But
I don't think Ben died. But that's another discussion.
Another discussion
Yeah,
for another day.
not for tonight.
Yeah. All right. So our next pairing, Lilo versus Judy.
I'm
So
just gonna
Lilo
say
from
Lilo
Lilo and Stitch.
because that is.
I gotta go with
my
Lilo
favorite
too.
movie.
I'm gonna go Judy.
Yeah, I kind of gotta go Judy too, only because again, she stands up against stereotypes and does what she wants to do.
Yeah.
I love Lilo.
As a
I really do.
short little human, it's like
That's fair.
You gotta vote
Tom,
Lilo,
Tom
and
makes
who have you
fun
got
of
in
me
your
whenever
background
I
there,
carry
Emma?
anything heavy.
I know. I know. I feel terrible.
Shame, shame, shame. But that does mean
Throwing
that
all
we're
kinds of
throwing it
curveballs.
to the chat.
Yes.
Lilo or Judy.
That's also part of the reason why is I don't want to have us to choose. I would rather the chat have to choose.
Lilo's misunderstood. Judy love her. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do love Lilo.
It's called hustle, sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Lilo,
she's so smart.
I mean, she puts the spoons in the pickle juice, and she's like, "My friends need to be punished." It just cracks me up. Or
She has a
Fantastic.
twisted side.
when Nani's trying to get through the door, she's like,
And she
"Leave me
just
alone
cranks
to
the
die."
music up.
So dramatic.
She's so
Listening to
melodramatic,
Elvis.
and I love it.
Oh, Judy just took the lead.
Oh,
No.
It's 5-4.
come on, friends.
Oh, 5
Brian
to 5.
says Lilo. Hi, Coach.
We know it's tough, Coach. Vote.
It is tough.
He did. He
Judy
said
is
Lilo,
played
so
by a
it's
Snow
tied.
White actress. That is true.
There we go.
Oh, that's true.
That
By
is very
is
true.
played by Prince Charming.
yeah, by Jennifer
But
Goodwin.
So did we? Are we still going back and forth?
I mean,
just
it's
tied
still
again.
split. Oh, there's one more person who voted for Lilo, so Lilo takes the slight edge.
Is it one more? I thought
No, I
thought it
think
just
that
tied
that
up
didn't
again.
seem like a vote. Oh, is it? Oh,
I
this
don't
is
think
way
that was a
confusing.
vote. I think that was just a comment.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I think Lilo is up by 1.
yeah. So I think Lilo gets the slight edge. Anyway.
Okay.
All right, Lilo it is. Closest vote of the night.
Yay!
Esmeralda versus Sally from Cars. Emma?
Again, why do you have to make me choose?
Why is this difficult?
I think it is a little bit, but I don't know. I guess I'll go with Sally
Really?
from Cars.
Wow.
I mean,
Okay, well, other than Toy Story, the one other movie I get to watch is Cars. So therefore, I'm going to pull the same thing and vote against Sally.
I just love Esmeralda. I'm not going to lie. I don't remember Cars. I mean, Cars is a cute movie, but I don't remember that much about Sally other than she's the love interest for Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
She's
like, I know that she
like
does
the whole
more
reason she
objectively,
kind of exists.
But that's all I remember.
well,
I was
going to
vote
for
Esmeralda.
her town. Well,
Sorry.
that's the thing. I'm like, it's kind of, I don't know. I'm just trying to remember like specifics about Esmeralda other than me. I mean, I know she like stands up and fights for herself and is independent as well, but I think Sally does that too. Like she fights for what she believes in, you know, makes Doc, you know, actually keep Lightning McQueen accountable. And I mean, she's not just the love interest at first. At first she's, you know, playing hard to get and is, you know, kind of rude to him and stands up to him at first. So but I mean,
Esmeralda stands up for her entire people. Like when Quasimodo's being mistreated at the Festival of Fools, like she steps up and cuts him loose and like gives the whole.
Never mind. I changed my vote then to Esmeralda. That clearly should no, like that was dumb. Forget what I said. I changed my vote. I'm sorry.
Like Sally is a good
probably
character,
not a rule.
but
I'm
it's
gonna
like
say that.
Sally is a good character, and I, you know, now that you remind me, like she's a lawyer and Doc and everything.
Sally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no,
I do remember.
Esmeralda's better. That was dumb what I said.
I watched too much Toy Story, too much Cars.
So how many?
All right.
Out of spite,
did we just sweep Esmeralda?
We just swept Esmeralda.
Okay.
Mia Thermopolis versus Mal from Descendants.
Mia, who?
As a 90s
God,
millennial child, I gotta go with
characters.
Mia. Mal is cute. I think she's a very well done character, but I gotta vote for Mia.
Yeah, for pure nostalgia reasons of taking the slight, again, just have something to take a slight edge because these are neck and neck for me. Mia Thermopolis, Rinaldi, Queen of Genovia. No, because she's technically Queen now. Anyway.
I'll go with Mal just to be different. But I love them both. And I might even vote for Mia in the next round against whoever's next because I do love them both so much. But Mal has great hair.
That is true.
It's true.
It changes every movie, but it's great hair. I'm gonna go with Mal because she was willing to give up everything to do what she believed in instead of I'm gonna follow the directions of my mom and that's just how it's gonna be for the rest of my life. She was willing to just do what she wanted to do, what she believed was right, instead of just submitting to her mom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's very fair. So that makes it 2-2 yet again.
Okay,
chat already got 2 for Mia. But it's
the same person voting twice, so it's only one.
Oh, 1 vote. Sorry.
Oh, so 1 for each? Or
it's one for each
Mia,
right now.
One for
No,
Mal
one
so far. Oh, no, still tied.
Another for Mel.
Is it
so
tied?
that's 2 and 1. No, it's not tied because again, it's the same
Okay.
person that voted twice. Okay, now it's tied again.
There we go.
Unless my chat's behind, but
Oh, Mia took the lead. Oh, another Mia.
again, it's the same person
both
voting
these
multiple
characters.
times. So,
Oh, there's still 2 other
that's
Mias.
okay. There's still more Mias though.
Yeah. Please vote.
Oh, Mia.
Mia.
Oh, Maya.
Okay, I think Mia gets it. I don't see any more Mels.
Oh,
getting
you
in,
know
so.
what? I should have voted
Yeah.
for Mia. You know why? because the
Why?
first guy she kisses in the movie is Brink.
Oh, that's
Eric
right.
So true. I forgot about that.
I completely forgot
Mia.
that's who that was.
Even though, wait, no, she doesn't actually kiss Josh.
No, she
Well,
does
I
because
guess
she
he
gets
kisses
photographed
her.
in the paparazzi and
Yeah, because
the leg
she
kick.
tries to
Oh,
kick her
that's
foot out,
true.
but it gets stuck
Thingy.
in the netting. Yeah.
Well, no, in
Yeah.
the net, in the beach hut, she doesn't, but he kisses her in front of the press. That's right.
Yeah.
Something like that. I know it
Anyways,
happens.
Yeah.
Got it.
But the
Gotta give it
kiss
to the
was
Brink movie.
non-consensual. But anyway.
Yeah.
The first kiss
But,
was
all right,
consensual.
so-
The second one was not.
Yeah.
That's true.
So Mia it is. Next up, Mulan versus Miss Piggy.
Oh my god.
Because some
What?
things
So
just have to be
hard.
done.
I'm going to let Ashley explain why she thought these two should
Please.
Because they both like to karate chop things. We were running out of ideas for matchups. We had to pair people.
And now we've been canceled. Thank you to cultural appropriation.
It's okay. I'm Asian. I okayed it.
See.
Goodbye, everybody. I'm just kidding.
Let's put it this way. One of them is a legitimate martial artist, and one of them is Miss Piggy. But
Anyway,
as much
can't
as I
vote.
love Piggy, I gotta vote Mulan. She's fantastic. She saves all of China.
Yeah.
Okay,
Same.
fine.
As much
It's
as
not
I
even
love
really a
Miss Piggy. Yeah, as much as I love Miss Piggy and love the Muppets, it's got to be Mulan for me too.
Yeah, I absolutely love Miss Piggy, the Muppets. That's just childhood stuff right there. But Mulan definitely stands out. She just always stood up for herself.
And I love 98 Degrees and Christina Aguilera. So fantastic soundtrack.
I love Nina.
Yeah. And pulling it all back to Star Wars. I love
Fennec
Nina.
Mm-hmm.
She's been in everything. Oh my god, she's been in Marvel
I'm
as
gonna-
well.
So the way
truly
that,
has.
other people in the past have voted based on Epcot and registers and votes, I'm going to make mine based on Star Wars and Brink. Those are my votes going forward.
And apparently
There you
soundtrack choices too.
And apparently. All right, so we're getting kind of close to the end. But I hate to break it to you, Desi, you didn't completely forget Marvel. Because our next mashup is Shuri versus Louisa.
Oh, I did put
So we
Shuri
did get one
in.
Marvel in there.
Okay.
We just
Because I
forgot
was
the
trying to think of a princess.
non-royalty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Because we had a lot more non-royalty than royalty.
All right,
So I
Shuri
think
versus
that-
Shuri
versus
versus
who?
who again?
Shuri versus Louisa from Encanto.
Oh, that's right. Brains versus Brawn. That's what we
Oh.
were going for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Brains.
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna.
love Shuri.
Yeah, it has to be Shuri for me. I think Louisa is hilarious, and it's cool to see it's actually really neat to see a physically strong woman being represented, because even we see strong personalities, but no like physically animated women, as in representing all kinds of different body types, which was exciting. But Shuri, I love that character too much.
So much love to Louisa and surface pressure and all of that. But I have to go with Shuri, because even though she was very smart, she also was very strong. She had both.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Agreed.
All right. Coming down to our last two mashups. Jasmine versus Vanellope.
Jasmine. I feel like I don't even need to quantify that. And also, I
Yeah.
haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph.
You have.
I've seen it. Cute movie.
Cute.
Vanellope
It
is
is.
great.
I think
But
that's
I
literally
can't-
the only movie on here I haven't seen. And the only reason
Really?
she even made the list was because when we were trying to come up with princesses, Stephanie said Vanellope, and I was like, she's a princess?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, yes.
Isn't she a president now?
Yes,
Some-
she
I
she
haven't seen
decided
Rex the
to.
Internet in so long. I don't remember.
No,
Well,
it's
it's
at the
end
end
of the
of-
first movie that
Spoiler.
she wants to be
Yeah.
known as
Is it?
President Vanellope von Schweetz versus Princess. Yeah, it's at the very end of the
Oh.
movie.
Yeah.
I forgot the part. Fair
Anyway,
enough.
but yeah, I have to go with why can't I remember who the other person is now because we've been
Jasmine.
talking about Vanellope so
Jasmine.
much. Jasmine, thank you. Yes, I have to go with Jasmine. I have to.
I love Jasmine.
She's great.
But I have to go with Vanellope. I love how she didn't let anything stop her from doing what she wanted. She was just like, I may be a glitch, but I want to race. So that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
Ashley.
that's fair. But for our very, very last one, although I don't know that it's going to take
Oh, did you vote
super
for
long.
Jasmine?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So it was 3-1. But our last one, Pocahontas versus Anita.
Because they both love animals.
Yep.
Anita from 101 Dalmatians.
Oh,
She was
okay.
pretty as
Isn't
human.
that the... Okay. Now I know what's happening. I was like, who? Hold on, let me look at... Oh,
That's
yeah,
why
you
I'm voting
explained it. Never mind.
Pocahontas.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, the question when you have to stop and say who, they don't rate going on to the second round.
Yeah, like that character is so forgettable. Like I couldn't tell you a single thing to argue about that character, so I got to go with Pocahontas as well.
Yeah, Pocahontas.
I mean, Anita is friends with Cruella de Vil. Who's friends with Cruella de Vil?
They were
This is
childhood
true.
friends.
Right? It does raise, like, how?
But it's like-
how did this happen?
Even if they're
kind
childhood
of
friends,
poor
you don't have to be
judgment,
friends with them forever.
No. Well, and it's weird, because I don't get the impression that they were still, like, uber close, but yet they kind of were. Like, it's a weird... That's the prequel we need. Like, how...
Yeah.
Well,
How
they
did
do
that come
explain
about?
it in the
How did that
prequel. Did you ever
Wait,
watch
there's a
Cruella?
prequel?
You never saw Cruella with Emma Stone?
No. Oh, I did see it, but I thought that was, like, a different rendition of the story. Because they're, like, older.
No. They show Anita and Cruella as friends when they're children.
Oh, that's
And then
right. When they were flashbacks when they were kids.
Mhm.
That is right. I completely forgot about that. Which, by the way, that was a actually surprisingly good movie.
Go watch
I
our
had
review
zero
on Deep
votes
in the
for it.
Plus.
Yes,
I should.
I watched the review, and now I need to go watch the movie. I still haven't done it yet, but I need to watch the movie.
It's a good movie.
Yes.
It is. But we're
Um,
going with animated Anita, so therefore Pocahontas.
This is true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good point.
But that closes out our first round of our March Madness Insanity. Only about 45, half an hour late, but it's fine. We had
Hour.
fun.
We still did
But
it
we had
faster than they do it on News Tonight.
This
I
is
think.
true. We got through the
Yes.
entire first half of the first rounds on episode 1.
So hot.
But yes, we will work on getting an updated bracket for next time. Hopefully we'll be able to get it posted at least in the chat, if not early, so y'all can follow along and play at home. Again, sorry for all the tech difficulties. We had some fun stuff kind of planned, but internet got in the way. Hopefully it'll be up and running for next time. But thank you again to everybody who stuck with us. I had fun. Thank you to my wonderful panel of ladies, and special thank you to Desi for helping me make the bracket.
Yay, Desi.
And we will be back on March 14th at 8 p.m. So be sure to tune in to see how the rest of this utter insanity goes. And we will definitely see you then. And until then, good night and have a wonderful week.
Happy Mardi Gras.
Bye.
Why isn't everybody sound anymore? What is
That is the song that should be playing. I don't know the rest.
I don't know why it's not playing. There we go.
There it is.